All right, welcome everybody to your morning cybersecurity threat briefing. This is Simply Cyber's First Things First. I'm your host, Gerald Auger, and when that clock in the corner gets down to zero, we are going to be ripping through the top cybersecurity headlines of the day. I'll be giving you my professional opinion and perspective on each of those stories. We'll be engaging with chat and having a good time. If you're watching this on replay, you might want to just jump straight to that 000 on the timer to get straight into it. Otherwise, let's hang out. Good morning to everybody. Had a great day teaching this morning, and I'm super pumped to be here with you all. Good morning, Pamela. Hey, Kayla, Carrie, always in here. Mubariz, Anthony Gibbs, my man. Dan Smith. Hey, Bryant, thanks for the support on the squad. Love it. Hey, David. Alexis, always in chat, Alexis. It's always nice to see you. My man, Base, I hope the first day went well. Again, congratulations on that new job. Scott Bush, gotta love the low country, my friend. Hey, Michael. Gerard Murphy here. Ebel Wiggins, yes. Yep, so everything is good, guys. I'm really looking forward to it. It looks like if you're in the Northeast, I hope you're dug out from the storm. And I hope you didn't suffer any negative consequences from it. And just so our Miami contingent understands, Kimberly, I'm looking at you. Snow is snow is like rain that doesn't go away. So I definitely moved away from snow. That's why I live in the South. Good morning, New Mexico. All right, I love it, Zachary. Damon Pryor. Damon. Devon Rockamore. We'll get started in 46 seconds. You guys know the routine. Hey, Kimberly, there you are. Yeah, Base. Professor Black Ops, good morning to you. Snow skipped me. You're lucky, Ryan. You're lucky. I also did not get any snow, thank goodness. Just south of where the snow comes in and hits. It's great to see everybody. I hope you are ready for a killer day. Hope it started off well. Looks like Tom Brady just officially retired, so congratulations on 22 seasons there. Hey, Jack Scott, always nice to see you. It was nice talking with you this morning. Ray Gibb, Zach, Thomas. All right, guys, you know the routine. Let's dig into it. If you want to play along, go on over to cisoseries.com. This is where we add our news stories and where we feed ourselves all of that goodness that is cybersecurity stories. Let me put on my do not disturb so you guys don't see my personal text messages, and let's get into it.
It's cybersecurity headlines.
It's Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. Your GPU knows your secrets. Researchers from Ben Gurion University and the University of Lille published a paper demonstrating a new GPU fingerprinting method called Drawn Apart. This can create a reliable and robust device signature using variations in speed from multiple execution units in a GPU, looking at the time to render graphics primitives using the WebGL API. This is based on manufacturing differences in identical GPUs, so unlike typical browser-based fingerprinting, it would distinguish machines with identical hardware and software configurations. Using a top-end fingerprinting linking algorithm, Drawn Apart extended median tracking times compared to browser-based solutions from 17.5 days to 28 days.
Okay, so, this is a novel thing. I guess the way that graphic cards are pushing out data and rendering and stuff like that, you're able to fingerprint them. Obviously, fingerprinting is really valuable and important because it allows businesses, big tech, to identify who you are, right? So we really talk a lot about privacy, which overlaps quite a bit with security. And you see a lot of these browsers like Brave, Firefox has been doing a lot. Facebook's been doing some. Google's coming out with this Flock thing, and they've abandoned that to go to a new solution where they can target you with advertising without compromising your privacy. That is the dream, right? So big tech wins, and you feel like some sense of privacy is protected. What this thing is saying right here is that if you're running a GPU processor, it can be uniquely identified, and they can go from there. I just want to point out really quickly that like your MAC address on your NIC, your network interface card, is unique, right? So Your IP address, while it can be changed, is somewhat static. So yeah, this is cool. This is novel, but there are other ways to fingerprint you. So I'm not going out and getting like GPU spoofing software. So, I can't be followed. Whatever. I know GPUs are heavy in crypto mining. So maybe there's some concern there from a risk perspective. But to me, this is one of those classic examples. I love academic research. I got a PhD. I've done academic research. I respect academic research, but this is a cool thing that I don't really see the practical, like, mainstream value of. No disrespect.
P behind Eternal Silence router campaign. The connectivity protocol Universal Plug and Play is at fault for another malware campaign dubbed Eternal Silence. Researchers at Akamai spotted attackers using a UPN proxy vulnerability to create malicious proxies on over 45,000 routers. This opens the door to installing crypto miners or launching further wormable attacks against a network. The researchers warned that Eternal Silence gets around networking segmentation and can generally only be seen by scanning endpoints and auditing NAT tables. Infected routers also need to reset or be flashed to get back to normal. DeFi platform.
Okay, so I don't know if this is part of the Vault 7 or Vault 11. Basically, the NSA drop that was Eternal Blue. So if you're not familiar with this, go back to look up WannaCry, look up Eternal Blue, look up Double Pulsar. 2017, an NSA cache of tools, the National Security Agency's cache of tools, was leaked online by shadow brokers, and they were really good tools, frankly, and they were used by threat actors. A lot of them had Eternal as like a preface to the naming, so this could be part of that. But what you need to understand here is that hundreds of thousands of routers are exposed, what I would call, when they say exposed here, I'm thinking exposed to the internet, which means they are compromisable. So you might want to dig into this a little bit, make sure that your router isn't. The fact that it's only 277,000 leads me to believe that it might be a specific set of internet routers, a specific set of routers that are compromisable. One other thing I want to point out is UPnP. This protocol stands for Universal Plug and Play. And in the dream of it was that you didn't need to understand anything about technology. You just plug something in on your network and like a NAS device, and your devices just see it because the thing is broadcasting and beaconing like it's Friday night in the red light district in Germany, and like they are trying to get your attention. Okay. So I'm not a huge fan of UPnP. Yes, it makes turning things on your network easy. It also broadcasts itself out if it's improperly configured on an internet-facing device. You can go on Shodan. You can find tons of these. Long story short, this is interesting, but it's not new, okay? Tons of devices are internet-facing, misconfigured, exploitable, and that's the deal. This is just another one in a long line of, misconfigured, or this one isn't necessarily misconfigured. It's just not patched because this is a vulnerability that can be exploited by Eternal Silence. Make sure your devices, especially if you're a small business, are not in the scope of exposed routers that are vulnerable to this attack. Patch your stuff. Okay. Guys, I've already had my coffee. It's 10 a.m. I pounded a French press a French press with French roast at 8 a.m. I'm all green. I'm green across the board.
$80 million. In an incident report, Cubit Finance disclosed that malicious actors exploited a security flaw within the smart contract code of the company's blockchain, letting the attackers not deposit anything, but withdraw the equivalent of $80 million in Binance coin. Cubit usually acts as a settlement processing provider between various blockchain providers, letting people withdraw a different cryptocurrency than they deposited. The company is now offering the hackers a $250,000 bug bounty to encourage them to return the funds.
Okay, first of all, shout out to Charles Finfrock.
I'm a crypto evangelist. I love it, love it, love it.
Okay, listen to me. This is not a surprise, right? Just because it's crypto, just because it's blockchain, like you can't just drop new technology and hope that it's wicked secure because it's on the blockchain. This is a perfect example, okay? This site allowed people to not deposit anything and withdraw something, $80 million worth of something. The fact, this is laughable, by the way. I don't know if you heard the story. This site is offering the attackers $250,000 if they return the $80 million. I'm just going to do some back of the napkin math here. Doesn't sound like a good return on the investment since they've already committed the crime. Bro, it's like less than a penny for a dollar. You know what I mean? Like it's dumb. What they should have done, I hate to be so crass, is offer a bug bounty program or worked with a closed bug bounty program where you hire like the top 1% of HackerOne or Bug Crowd and have them security test your technology, right? Probably would have found this instead of having $80 million walk out the door. So this is terrible. I feel for Cubit, right? No one wants to suffer a loss like that. But in addition to them getting punched in the stomach for $80 million, if I was using Cubit as a service, I would move my money out of there because I don't have confidence in their ability to protect it. That's just me. I don't know them. I didn't dig into the story. That's just me. Okay, let's keep rolling.
The top 3 industries for ransomware. According to data gathered by the threat intelligence firm Trellix, between July and September 2021, the banking, utilities, and retail industries were the most targeted by ransomware organizations. These 3 sectors accounted for 58% of all observed attacks. The report found that ransomware gangs have adopted methods over time to target the most sensitive data and services, noting that education, government, and industrial services remain prominent targets as well. It should be noted that many of the groups behind major ransomware attacks during the time looked at in this study have either disappeared or gone dark, with new organizations emerging to fill the void.
Okay, a couple things here. One, I've got 2 key takeaways, and I think they're both important. Okay, one, this is a great piece of information to bookmark, especially if you work in retail, financial, or whatever the third one was. They said, what did they say? Sorry, guys. Financial, utilities, or retail, okay? If you work in one of these 3 sectors, bookmark this article, find the report underneath it that they're referencing, save it, and then when you're going for budget, when you're doing threat and risk assessments, like actually doing real risk analysis on your organization, you can say that ransomware is your top threat, which we all know, but the business doesn't know that. And if they push back and say, why are we looking at ransomware? You could be like, oh, I don't know. Like, you see this report in your face, like, we're the most targeted industry. So I do need that money for the on-site backup immutable data storage so I can restore, or I do need to educate end users not to click on silly things, or we do need to disable macros, even though, executive, I know you love your Excel spreadsheet to pop up and have a bouncing paperclip on it. You know what? It's just not worth it. And this is evidence. Okay. So that's one thing that you can use. The other thing that I want to point out, and this is something, again, because I've done research, right? Another thing I want to point out, and that I really implore you to take this with you in your professional life going forward. With something like this, okay, over half of attacks are targeting these 3 industries. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, academic research is usually objective, okay? Industry research is oftentimes angled, okay? So what does that mean? That means that, like, a company that sells email gateways will release a well-done report by accomplished researchers that indicates that 97% of all attacks start with email. I mean, do you see what they're doing here, right? There's not that there's a conflict, but yes, we're pointing out in this report that's completely objective and removed from us that email is the biggest target. Oh, by the way, we sell an email gateway. Would you like to address that risk? So my thinking here is, I'm not calling shenanigans yet, but my thinking here is I'd want to see what this report is and who funded the report. And then I want to see what industry that they serve. And I'd be curious if they serve retail, utilities, or financials. Financials is always going to be there. No one's questioning that. But retail, that seems a little sus. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Because I work in manufacturing, and I know for a fact that manufacturing is highly targeted. And I used to work in healthcare, and I can tell you for a fact that healthcare is quite heavily targeted. Why? Also, by the way, also government. Hello, like, Atlanta, Baltimore, Jacksonville, Florida's water, there's so many government, right? Arizona, all these different ones, right? So question, do your due diligence. Don't just read this. I know I'm going off on a tangent, y'all, but don't just read an article like this and then turn around and be like, this is a fact. You always, with stuff like this, you always have to look at what the report is, who funded it, and what is their objective. Okay. Just, I mean, again, bookmark it and save it. If you work in one of these three industries, it's no, like the executive that you're asking the money for, they are not going to push back and say, well, who funded this research? But you as an individual should know so you can make your own informed decisions, right? Okay, good talk.
And apps. The company now allows developers to publish unlisted apps in the App Store. These can be shared with private links and will not appear in search. This isn't meant to be a replacement for the company's test flight beta system, and there is no invite-only mechanism for unlisted apps. It's seen more as being used for apps required internally by organizations that don't necessarily need to be searched for by the public. Developers can request to move published apps to unlisted, although all old links to them will still work.
Okay. I'm going to put on my Nostradamus cap here, my soothsayer cap here. Okay. Listen, this is cool. iOS is offering like the App Store, and instead of being able to search for things, there'll be unlisted ones, just the way that YouTube has unlisted YouTube videos, and you can share a link and people can get to it. It's publicly available, but only with the link. And it's not, Google's search doesn't pick it up and stuff like that. Okay, that's cool. And I understand the use case here. Here's my thing. Like, if you get the link or you somehow brute force the link, then you'll have access to it. And are people making the assumption that because it's unlisted, no one has access to it? So they have like, they don't have multi-factor authentication, or they, everybody's an admin or whatever. My point is, I feel like this is a cool idea, but depending on how difficult that link is to guess or generate or share, people might make a misrepresentation of the level of security that having a private link grants them. Okay. So if you work at an organization that's going to be doing private apps and stuff like that, obscurity is not security. Okay. Or security through obscurity. Some people say that it's not security. Okay. It's just harder to find. It's not unfindable. So just be aware that this is a cool idea, but at the same time, it doesn't actually add any level of security. You should be baking in security into the app.
Messenger hit with prize phishing campaign. Finland's National Cybersecurity Center issued a warning about a new campaign currently active.
By the way, I'm sorry, really quick. They do offer this service called Test Flight, which is like a separate app store where you can download beta applications. I've used it. I've done test flight beta testing for some games and stuff like that, but it's different than the app store, right? It's like a separate app store. Okay.
In the country, targeted victims receive a message claiming to be from a friend asking for a phone number under the pretext it's to enter them into a prize drawing. This drawing will send an SMS code to their phone, which the friend asks for. This is used to log into the victim's Facebook account, change their password and email. From there, the scammers reach out to other people in the victim's network. The agency warned it appears the scammers have recently gotten more ambitious, asking for credit card and banking information to transfer supposed prize money.
Okay. This is a good opportunity to win hearts and minds of end users in your environment and educate them about phishing or smishing attacks. Essentially, the concept of this attack, it's an old hash, a rehash of an old attack. Basically, my account gets compromised, and then they email people in my contacts list, my Facebook Messenger contacts list. By the way, spoiler alert, I don't have Facebook Messenger. And, it looks like me sending it to Jax. Hey, Jax, check out this thing. I want to win this prize, whatever. Click on this link, right? This thing's got you're dealing with people who aren't paying attention at this point because my account's compromised. I'm sending you something probably out of the blue about check out this thing and click on this link. And then the link is probably suspect. And then you're going to get a text message. You can paint this attack in like a prettier picture and educate your end users about it because it's something that can resonate with them. Many people use Facebook Messenger, except me, and this will resonate with them. So you can educate them on phishing attacks. That's about all I'll say on this one.
Registration for analytics tool. Meta paused new users from joining its CrowdTangle social media tracking tool, although new users can still be added to existing company accounts. The tool can be used to analyze public content available on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit. Meta disbanded the CrowdTangle team last year, moving the tool under its new data and transparency team. The company said user registrations were suspended due to staff shortages caused by that reorganization. No word on how long registrations will be paused.
Oh, Meta. Oh, Facebook. You're so predictable. Okay. I don't even know what CrowdTangle is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, okay. It's a social media tracking tool. Hold on. Let me zoom in really hot on this. So they paused their social media tracking tool. Okay. And why did they do that? Under pressure to provide transparency. This is so sus. I've learned the word, by the way, I've learned the word sus from my child. Okay. So I'm using it all over the place to be hip. So if you're younger generation, let me know if I'm using it correctly. All right. If you're older, check it out. The word sus is like something. Okay. So check it out. They're under pressure to provide greater transparency. So instead of providing greater transparency, they just either disband it or pause everything, and then say it's due to staffing constraints around all of this. Okay. Social media tracking tool doesn't sound great. They're following you. Okay. That's all there is on that one.
Grindr disappears from Chinese app stores. The iOS App Store and Android app marketplaces operated by Tencent and Huawei no longer list the dating app Grindr in China. App researchers at Keymind noted the iOS version was removed on January 27th. It's unclear when Android apps were removed. 95Mac sources say the iOS app was removed by Grindr's parent company's request. Grindr users in China reported issue with the app over the past several weeks, often unable to send or receive messages or add likes. Competitive LGBTQ dating apps remain available in the country. Grindr was sold by the Chinese video game development company Kunlun Tech to a group of US-based investors back in March 2020. Ahead of the Winter Olympics, the Cyberspace Administration of China announced a month-long crackdown on online rumors, pornography, and illegal content.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Grindr is an app. It's like Tinder, except it's men looking for men. And whatever it's been pulled down from the Chinese app store. Okay, Apple didn't remove it. No surprise. China does really run with a heavy fist. So I don't know if this is based on societal pressures of what is quote unquote normal, and that type of relationship is frowned upon. I don't know if that's the Chinese problem. I don't know if the investors who bought it, dude, follow the money. It's possible. They said in the story, the Grindr was bought by US based investors in 2020, right? So maybe these investors aren't doing something for China, or they upset China. Maybe they, like, I've heard of this several times. Maybe those investors own other businesses or products that recognize Taiwan as an independent country. Right now, if you say Taiwan's a country, like, you get blacklisted from China, right? Like, just Google John Cena Taiwan if you want to see like how much pressure China has on influencing things. So I don't know what to make of this. It's it doesn't surprise me. China can make people disappear. I don't see why they can't make apps disappear. And when I say disappear, I mean like from the internet, not like I don't know anything about like horrible crimes or anything like that, but from the internet. So I'm not surprised they can make an app disappear. I do want to point out, really worth mentioning, if you're interested in going a little deeper on a crazy, really good piece of research. Now, granted, this is several years old, but Synack and Colby Moore, I attended a talk at ShmooCon in like 2016 or something like that. And it was an awesome talk. Grindr. Let's see if this just comes up here. Yes, check it out. If you Google here, I'll put it in chat. And I don't even know if this is a good link here. Mods, I'm going to put this in chat. If you can share it with the group, please. Oh, I dropped it a couple times. But my computer's come on, send it. Okay, so check this out. This talk right here, these are his slides. It's all a talk about how to hack, or how Colby Moore hacked Grindr as an app, okay? And like, it doesn't matter what the app does, but the fact that it can track people, the fact that you could use it to pinpoint people's locations, you could follow them around and map out their paths for the day. You could know exactly where they are. You could know who they're meeting. You can know where they live. It is an awesome presentation. And I just Googled it, right? And this is the first result. I don't know if it was recorded or not, but this is an excellent talk. If you're looking to get a better understanding of, it's a web app essentially, but like web application security testing, security auditing, how web apps can be attacked, why your GPS coordinates in your web apps and in your iPhone can really pinpoint you. The fact that an iPhone can bring you down to like 8 decimal places of a centimeter of where you physically are. So like basically pinpoint exactly where you are and how that's completely unnecessary. This is an awesome talk. Okay. Colby Moore, brilliant researcher. I recommend you guys check it out if you get a hot minute. Okay. So that's going to do it for today's broadcast. What I do want to share really quickly is that if you guys are new here or whatever, this Thursday, we are inviting my friend, your friend, member of the community and boss, Erica McDuffie, onto stream Thursday at 4:30. She's an expert in GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance, which is kind of how you run an information security program and make decisions for budgeting and where you're going to invest dollars and where you're going to put technology and stuff like that, who you're going to hire, how to dominate this space. She's got a lot of experience. She's a very accomplished professional. I'm super excited to talk to her. For those of you who know, like I got a GRC background, so I'm looking forward to some of the conversations that we can get into. I hope you can join us. That's Thursday at 4:30. Okay, that's going to do it for today's broadcast. We're just at a couple minutes before time. I want to remind everybody, if you want to share this broadcast with someone who you think could get value, definitely give them this link right here, simplycyber.io/FTF for First Things First. It will take them to the YouTube page that's got all the upcoming shows, and you can definitely find the one you want and get onto that. If you want to keep the conversation going, because let's be honest, chat's awesome, right? I'm sure you've had some great conversations in chat there. Go over to simplycyber.io/Discord. It's called free 99. That's what it costs. You get in there, absolutely free. You have some good conversations. You network with like-minded professionals, and you absolutely dominate cybersecurity as a career and as, basically a lifestyle. So I'm all about that. That's going to do it for this week's episode, y'all. I really appreciate what all of you do. I hope you got some value out of this. Obviously, hit the like if that's what you're into. But I'm just into delivering hot takes on cybersecurity stories every single day. Thank you so much, Ryan. We'll see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, February 2nd. Today's February 1st. My name's Gerald Auger, and this was First Things First.